Hi everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie, and today's video is a Plan With Me, a Gather Round Homeschool unit called North America. And so as you can see, we've been doing this for quite some time, and I'm really going to be highlighting the things that I've added on, because in this particular unit I've added on a lot because we are Canadians, and I really wanted to spend some time with my girls talking about each of the provinces in Canada in greater detail. Also talking about some of the things in history with the greater detail, and so I wanted to chat with you. But I wanted to let you know this is something that I do every social studies unit which deals with one of the continents. I make a map, and I will leave a link down below. I'm hoping that they fixed the issue that they had, but you can print them at any size. If I had a wall, I would probably make this a big wall for them. But they color each of the flags inside the shape of the country. Just helps them, make it the connection. And then this is one of the children that we support through World Vision, and he comes from Guatemala, so that was another thing that we could add to just ground it a little bit. And then we just started into Canada this week, and so we are going to be doing another, I'm trying to see if you guys can see it, but we are going to be adding all of the provinces, and we spend about a full day in there. I'm going to put this down so that I don't drop it. So each time I come up with, or the things that I'm adding on to a unit, is I have a running list of the things that I want to watch, including YouTube videos and including anything else documentary wise that I have found. And I've shared this once before, but I'm going to do it again because I have found these to be invaluable. I hope that they are available to you from the History Channel or from somewhere, but Digging for the Truth has been invaluable when we're talking about the Mayan ruins and stuff. He talks about that. We did spend a good, I think, 2 days on the Mayan culture. I always had a fascination when I was a kid about the hieroglyphs and how nobody could understand it, and then it was a teenager who figured out, or I think he was 12. Close enough. But I think he was able to discern things because he grew up going to these sites and stuff like that. And so I really wanted to highlight that for my kids, that even though they're little people, they have value and can contribute where adults haven't been able to do it. What else did we learn about from, there were so many different videos, the Aztecs, the pyramids that the natives built in America that were just mounds of dirt, but had, that was the building material that they had. So I just wanted to share those again. They are wonderful. I'll be able to bring them out for Europe and Asia too. So that's really awesome and fun. And he's kind of a goofball, which helps. For the books that I pulled out, if you watched my video on Indigenous Peoples Unit, I kept all of those books out as well. So these were just added into it. So The Incredible Journey, oldie but a goodie. And I don't know if my kids have read all of these, but we're getting out of these ones, but I still had them and thought, you know what, I'll keep them and then pass them on for next time, because by the time my kids do this again, they'll be way too old for those ones. Steal Away Home, a mystery about the Underground Railroad. Now, this one I thought I might assign to my daughter, but then the book that I assigned to her was about a real life person, and so I didn't assign it to her. So I'll keep this one for the next time we go through, and one of my daughters will be able to read it then. Discovering Canada, the loyal refugees. My husband's family comes from United Empire Loyalists. If you're American, sorry. But it's really important that my kids understand the history and why we live in Canada and how we were led there as a family and stuff like that. And so I keep this kind of stuff out. Birth of a Nation is another encyclopedia type book, but lots of pictures, lots of stuff to read about. They didn't get too much into it this time around, but I know that they will next time. Good Morning Canada. An Ellis Island Christmas. Now I will pull this out at Christmas as well, but given Ellis Island's importance, I wanted to keep it out for here. The Bermuda Triangle, Canada for Kids, Magic School Bus, Polar Bear Portal. I think Magic School Bus, if you are a parent with young kids, is like the greatest resource ever. The Oregon Trail, Voices from the Oregon Trail. Again, my husband's family actually has an ancestor who is from that one side of the family is from the Oregon Trail. So again, importance there. Search and Find, Call of the Wild. This book is a lot of fun. Yeah, you can see that. Awesome. But it's a search and find, which is a lot of fun. And then the Canadian Landscapes. And then for assigned reading, I signed Harriet Tubman to my daughter Inara. She is a proficient reader, burns through books on a regular basis. And so she got to read this one, and they do a book report on their assigned reading. And then this one for Miss Sienna, Sweet Clara and the Freedom Quilt. So those were those ones. For our read alouds, we continued this beautiful, beautiful book about Alexander von Humboldt. It's not very long, but he does take a bit of a trip once he's done with South America, which we read the South America part when we were in South America. And then he goes up Mexico or Cuba and the United States for a short while. So I will bring this back out when he starts looking into Asia and stuff like that, which he did later on in his life. But it's just beautiful. There's beautiful pictures. And it's just lovely to actually look at. And so I wanted to bring that one out. We still haven't gotten to this one yet, but we did read this one, and my girls were quite intrigued by it. It's just a really short story, and I thought that it made a little bit more sense because we went through the Southern United States in one lesson and it was done. And I had a few other things that I'll talk to you about later that I added. So this is the other read aloud that we did, the Discovery of the Americas, because I think it's really important to set the record straight sometimes about who actually discovered it. And so these books are just lovely from a standpoint that they're not over children's heads, and they're full of just, again, beautiful, beautiful pictures. All right, so what do I add on? So one of the things, other than the read alouds that we did, we also watched a lot of YouTube videos talking about the plantation, for instance, that they mention in the Southern United States. But we also watched the Underground Railroad, the William Still story, and then I had printed out a whole bunch of different pages, and we worked through that for about a week. We really took some time to really sit in there and really understand the sin that was involved in the slave trade, and then trying to hold on to the money and the aspects of those. So that's what we did for that. I mentioned that we're starting Canada, and I wanted to share this book. So this book is the museum called Canada, 25 Rooms of Wonder, and it's all the archaeological stuff that they've found in Canada, and there's lovely, lovely pictures. and art renderings and stuff like that, and then lots of words explaining what they found and how it's important to our culture, that sort of thing. And so what I do is I have the girls color in a picture of whatever province we're talking about, and then I will print off an artifact from that book, and then I have them write a short story about these artifacts. And I did this with Darian the first year that I homeschooled. He was more willing to write back then, and it's just lovely to see what stories they come up with explaining the artifacts and the fossils and stuff like that. So essentially in the Gather Round unit, they have kind of, these are the eastern provinces of Canada. And so then I spend a little bit of time. I printed off a bunch of the flags and names just so that they also add the flag. They draw the flag in on here. And then I'll read from here. Just a bunch of different interesting facts and stuff like that. And then on here they write when that province joined Confederation. And so that's how I've been doing it. Just kind of give them a broad view of that province. And then of course, we put that on our map. The other thing that I've added is, I did this with Darian. I made a whole bunch of, printed off a whole bunch of different animals, made like a little pocket and where they live, and so the girls like playing with that as well. The other thing that I really love adding to these units is a little bit more about missionaries who go to those countries. North America was a little bit more difficult given the past of North America has been very church oriented, and so what we read about this time was about Billy Graham, because he did do a lot to revitalize and just restore faith in North America. And yeah, so the other thing that I add on is these books, these magazines from Kayak. They're Canadian magazines for children, and they just have a really great way of explaining certain facts like wars and stuff like that in a really child-friendly way. And so I've really enjoyed, and then I just print them off and bind them myself just with some glue. But I find it so interesting how they do it in a way that isn't graphic for kids. There's even a little bit of a graphic story line or novel in the back. So if you have children who are more preferred that type of reading, then those are something I recommend. And then I also add in some stories from these. So Courage and Conquest. So this is the wars in Canada essentially, and then the story of Canada. And I've really enjoyed adding onto this unit just to make it a little bit more beefy for my girls, especially about Canada, because it's really important that they know their history, can answer questions about that. I also, as I have said, I also add a lot of our family history to these units, because I think if they understand all the different parts that brought them into being, they can really see the hand of God in how everything is informed and made by him. From the Mennonite ancestors that left Russia, all the way to the Oregon Trail, all the way to the family who were loyalists, who one was a spy for the British. How we came to be in Canada is a story in and of itself. So I hope that this has been an enjoyable video, that you got a lot of ideas out of it. Thank you for taking the time to spend with me and watch this video. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will leave as many links down below as I can. One Dorable. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.